All right, so the motor's out. I just took the belt off. The easiest way to do that is just squeeze the belt together on this one, just because of the style of secondary clutch this one has. It'll spread that out enough. You can just roll the belt off and pull it off. And then you can go ahead and break this loose with a 13 or a half inch, whatever floats your boat. I broke it loose a second ago and forgot I needed to show you guys this. Now be careful, there are some spacers behind here, like this guy here. And this one right here. Make sure we do not lose those, all right? We don't want to lose those. Those go with our clutches. We've got to put those back together when we put the clutch back in this thing. That spaces the belt alignment. Boy, that one-way bearing on there is not a one-way bearing. It is locked tight. See if we can break this loose. With this guy, might not be able to. Nope, and those pistons are shot anyway, so let me grab the big gun and a 16, since that's like a 5/8. See if I can't hold this thing in place again, since I do not have the proper clutch puller. Or clutch holder, I should say. Got that guy out, grab our tool for our clutch puller. I should have the right one. I believe it's this one here. I had to shave this one down. I let another shop borrow it, and they screwed it all up. Nope, it is not that one. Is it this one? Yes, it is that one here. We'll screw that in. Dead stop. Not sure what size that was. Let's try 22. Nope, 23. '23 fits good. Let's try with electric. I doubt it comes out with electric. Probably got the air. Yeah, we're gonna have to throw some air on that bad boy. Again, they do have a clutch holder for that. Will I buy it? Nope. We'll just throw some air to it. They'll tell you not to use air, but I will. There we go. And there is anti-seize on this thing already. Let's see where it presses against the crank. Whew. So that bearing on here is stuck. I might have the proper holder for that to check this one-way bearing. Let me get rid of this fork. You guys can't see what I'm doing, but way up here I got a clutch holder tool that I use for Polaris. I used it on an older, I don't know, older quad a long time ago. So let's see if this will work for this or not. You can see the little, it'll set in my vise. Lock it into place. This is to set the height, but I don't know if this thing will even fit. Whoop. Man, I just drop them all. That one, this one. So I don't know if this one will, yeah, it looks like it'll hold a straight one. Sweet. Washer. Screw this thing down on top. These are 3/8, I believe. We'll take those loose. I'll grab my 7/16 just in case. And what you want to do also, I forgot before I start taking this apart, we'll want to punch mark this thing so those line up right back on the same spot we had before. I'll just take this guy right here, and what I'll do, I'll punch mark right here on the side, there, and here, so I know I'm lining these two back up, and I'm going to even punch mark on top. There, and there. That way these do get aligned back up when I do put it back together, because you want to do that. There we go. There is a little bit of spring pressure on that. Nothing too dramatic. Now, the spider gear is where this guy will set. This will go like this, and this will break this loose. Now, thought I needed to hold this up a little bit. This should go on the inside, but not a big deal. That'll go there, and this should break the spider gear loose from here, so you can get to the touch the front, so you can get to that one-way bearing, which that thing's locked. So let's grab this one's probably gonna take my impact to do. Let's see, do I have, where is my, I bet you it's up here. Yep. And it should be, I believe it's right-hand thread on that one. Grab my air.
All right, so we got that off. I got my tool for the to get the spider gear. It's counterclockwise rotation. We don't want that, so counterclockwise. I mean, that is definitely not moving counterclockwise very well. That is absolutely loud. Yes, install clutch holder tool, loosen the spider counterclockwise using clutch spider removal tool. That is not moving counterclockwise. It did a little bit, but then it locked up. Probably have to hit it with, I don't know. Might have to hit it with some penetrating lubricant. It might be a little rusted in there, so I'll do that and let it set. And we'll go ahead and take that CVT cover off and separate the motor from the transmission. All right, so let's go ahead and remove this CVT cover. Ooh, that's little bitty guys. Those look like maybe a quarter. Let's try a quarter. Might be a little bit bigger than that. Yep. 9/32 maybe. That should be all our bolts holding that in. These three, this goes to the secondary clutch, primary clutch. CVT cover should come off now. There we go. Some of these do have a little bit of, well, this one looks like it had RTV instead of the seal on it. Is there anything else? 1, 2, 3. I don't see anything else on this one.
but that bad boy's not wanting to budge. There we go. So this one might have, some of these have RTV that you'll put back here. Some of them won't. I'll have to look and see what it says in the manual. But here we go for the secondary, or the inside CVT cover. Throw that down there, and we'll work on that silly, wow, look how rusty that is. I'll have to clean that before I even think about trying to separate the crankcase. All right, so that should be, I think these are 10s, and that's probably a 14, or we'll try some standard stuff, but I've been running across a lot of it not fitting properly. Let's see. So that'd be 7/16, ½ inch, and these two. Let's take a look here. Let's see, 7/16, could be a 3/8, 5/8, too big, 9/16, fits good. So basically that would be pretty much be like a 14. Let's check 3/8 on these guys, and doesn't fit. So those are 10 mil. 3/8, we'll grab a 10 mil ratcheting wrench, my trusty Harbor Freight stuff that I've had longer than I can stinking remember. And these have actually been really, really good. I bought these when I needed a starter set for something. I think I was just moved to Florida and I needed some wrenches, and I hit Harbor Freight up and they had these super cheap, and of course lifetime warranty, so why not? Sometimes not a lot of stuff I buy through Harbor Freight, but honestly they have gotten better with their Icon brand, that's for sure. Let's get this starter out of here. This starter's junk anyways. It broke off because that was all rusted. So we'll get the starter out of here real quick. We'll call it quick, but who knows how fast it's gonna actually come out. My gosh. Everything is just stuck on this nasty thing. That starter's junk. Put these two bolts back in where they go here. That way we know where they go and we don't forget. All right, back to taking this guy off. Now I will put new trans fluid in this thing and new differential fluid in this. I'm not going to send this thing down the road without all the fluids changed. New spark plugs, but I want to take a look and see what's going on the inside of this motor. We know we're going to need new crank and rods, and I will get all this stuff from Rev 6. I'm a dealer for those guys, and I've had good luck with their stuff. Some people don't like it. I will not buy a reman motor from anybody because I don't trust anybody's work. I'd rather do it all myself. That way if something happens, then I know I did it and I don't have to point the finger at anybody else. Some people like it the other way around, but I like to have my hands inside these things. Should have got my ratcheting wrench out. Woo. Everything is just dirty. It is a UTV, so what do you expect, honestly? I mean, didn't expect anything less. What do I do with that tin? Ah, my gosh. Woo! I know those don't get torqued down like that. But I know somebody's been in here because I had a cylinder in it. So this motor has been rebuilt one time prior. By who? Don't know. Honestly, really don't care. As long as everything else is on the up and up. Boy, I tell you what. Some people need to learn where a torque wrench is with some of this stuff. I know that you want these engines and stuff be secure, but that's slightly ridiculous. All right, off those guys, off motor mount bolts. I'm gonna throw it over here with those. This phone's stuck in my pocket driving me crazy. All right, what else we got going on here? And we got those two on the bottom. Of course, why wouldn't we? Let me find a block to stick there. There's a couple bolts on the bottom there. Where is my, what'd I do with that big old block of freaking 4x4 I had? Saw it somewhere. Oh, it's out here next to my, a few other things. All right, so we have this bolt here and another one on the other side. As long as I don't smash my hand too much. That is gonna take a socket. Where's my ratchets? That's already off of there. That is 5/8. I need a 9/16. See if we can't break this bad boy loose. My gosh. Ah. Holy crap. Did that really just happen? Did I just lose? Look how bad that differential oil is right there. That just stripped off almost all those freaking, that nut. Oh, all right, let's see if we can't get it with a hammer. It's gonna strip it off. Oh, I can already, it's gonna strip it out. Oh, you gotta be flipping kidding me. There is almost nothing I can do about that right now. All right, well, let's set that there for a minute. Let it leak out all that horrible, horrible differential fluid. Let's see. Do I have a 14.6 point? I don't. I may have to, oh, that won't fit. Let me figure out how to get this bad boy off and we'll jump back into this. All right, so I got the brake loose. I just had to put an extension on it. The ratchet head was hitting, so get that guy off of there. Still puking out diff fluid, but that's all right. That thing is nasty. I don't think this thing's ever been serviced. The oil was black. Diff fluid's watery and brown. That is no good. Gee, Manitleys. Even right at the end, doesn't want to come off. All right, now we can start to separate. Let me clean up some of this diff fluid here. Put my kids' old soccer jerseys and stuff on it. All right, so more of those go here. Get some of this crap out of the way. This out of the way, this out of the way, that out of the way, this out of the way, that out of the way. And oh, so we didn't need to do those 2 bolts, just those 10s, huh? Huh. Well, that's what it goes to show what I know about this thing. All right. What I know, I don't know anything. Now we should be able to separate the motor. It's all nasty and rusty, and of course nothing wants to come out like it should. It's just full of crap. And my back already hurts for one. There we go. Jeez. There's the motor. Getting out of those things, pain in the butt. Woo. Okay, that's plugged off. Gear position sensor. Swing the differential around. Holy smokes. And now there's the motor. The motor, transmission, rear diff, and a mess. I'm out of breath. Next thing, I'm gonna clean this mess up, get this crap out of my way, and we'll get this thing back together. Why is that missing a bolt there? What did I take off there? That didn't look like I had the bolt in it for it. Oh my gosh. This one's not broken. That one's fine. There. What came out of... I mean, look at that. It don't even look like I had anything on it. What the freaking hell? Did they just like leave everything loose on here or what? This is insane. Whoever the last person that built this thing is, you need to be punched in your face. Your freaking work sucks. Now I have a feeling as soon as I start this customer's gonna show up with this quad he wants me to work on. But anyways, let's go ahead and pull out the lifters. Now when you put these in, you'll line up this little hole right here with the backside of the cylinder where the oil comes in. Yes, they will spin, but it is good to have that lined up. And we'll keep them in the same holes if I don't order lifters for this thing. This thing did not have an issue with the valve train, so I probably won't, but we'll see what happens. So that will be number 1, which I'll set those just like I would on my other stuff there. That way we're keeping things in order. And I don't change holes with them. There's those. Let's go ahead and pull the circlips for the pistons. Oh, that one fell down inside. Not a big deal. We gotta take it apart anyways. Ooh, that one's in there. And again, when you build a motor, this one here will specifically, some of these will specifically tell you to line them up and down. Don't line them sideways. That way, especially on like a 2-stroke, that way they can't possibly get caught in any of the porting on certain ones. Not all 2-strokes, but a lot of these things. If I can get this out of here, I don't know. There we go. That bad boy is not wanting to come out. Well, let's grab a pair of needle nose. There we go. Let's see if that one pushes out with my finger. Not necessarily. Let's try to push it out with this. There we go. Piston 1. Piston 2. Make sure that's not the customer getting ready to show up. right, nope, he's just, another customer asking about his 1980 XS 400 Yamaha over there, which I did, and well, now the battery's not charging, so we'll see if it's the battery or the charging system on that. Again, you can see this rod is shot up, down. Pistons, don't really care about that. You see where I smacked it there anyways. We're getting new pistons. We don't give a hoot. Those are going in a pile. Let's get this oil filter off. See if there's actually any oil left in it. That's a Wix one. Now I'm going to put a K&N 198 on it. I like K&N. I've used K&N for a long time on a lot of stuff, and their website's really easy to. And most of your places will have them in stock too. You know, auto parts store and all that. They'll have Wix and everything too. I'm lucky enough. I have not a Polaris dealer too far, but I still do just use K&N or Polaris stuff. It doesn't really matter. Whatever floats your boat. So it did still have a lot of oil in that filter. I was hoping it would have pretty much drained out, but whatever. Clean up my table, the motor, my lift, I should say, not table. All right, spin this bad boy around this way. We're gonna throw it. I'm gonna grab my box, so I'm gonna throw this thing up on its side. This will just help with everything. When it comes to leaning the motor over, or if it leaks anything, I can just throw some rags in spots. All right. Start taking this side cover off here. The next fun part is having to clean all this junk. That's the next fun part. Oh, I hear my customer. All right, got that customer taken care of, dropped off a quad. Let's get this side cover pulled off here like we were talking about a little bit ago. Let's check the inside of that. You can just kind of just see how nasty that thing is. We'll get a new O-ring that goes on here. Just got to keep all of this stuff together. This is the starter Bendix thing. Now, again, on this one, you can take a steering wheel puller and use the steering wheel puller to get this flywheel off by going in here. That's what I'm going to do. You can't get this extended starter Bendix out of there. Also, remember that has a washer on it. Don't forget that. So let's grab the tool we need for that. Not sure what size it is. Let's say 22. 22 fits it pretty good. Let's grab some air. Oops, that's above my head. And I'm just going to hold on to one of the rods. Get that off. Go back up, grab my, this is just a, oh, this is my specialty tool shelf. Where is it at? Compression, ET, I think it's this one. Is that it? Nope, or was it? I think it's this black one. This is just your basic Harbor Freight steering wheel puller. Heavy dude, that's oil filters. I gotta label things better. All right. DigiSync, which I don't ever use because every time I turn it on, it's a pile of crap. I probably should just send it back and talk to the guys about it. What am I looking for here? There it is. Right here. Your basic bolt type steering wheel puller. This thing works great for getting these flywheels off. And then find your right size that'll fit in there, no problem. Might use a small one just because fits that better. Big one. And the thread pitch might have been this, because I pulled that flywheel off a Ranger not long ago. Yep, that would be it. So I'll just take this bad boy. Nope, those are not going to be long enough. Darn it. Let's see. Let me spin this thing around. I may be able to get in there a little bit better without having that end. That still may be too short, because you don't want just one or two threads. You want a few threads in there. That actually might work. All right, yep, that's gonna work, I believe. Yeah, that's screwing in there pretty good. And number 3, and I don't need to torque these things down a whole bunch, just finger tight, because it's going to be putting pressure back on that. You just want to make sure you got quite a few threads in there and have it pretty even looking. I really don't want one side to pull more than the other or vice versa. Trying to see if I hear my other customer coming or not. 14 millimeter. Got one coming with another quad and a XR 250, and then he's also got a 86 Tri-Z 250 he's going to bring, which should be a treat. There we go. You guys can see it's got the firing marks up there, so you can see when it's firing, if you change any type of timing or anything like that. I honestly don't know if you can on this. I really have no idea. But you might be able to adjust something on the inside to trigger different. I'll know as soon as I get this thing back apart. All right, flywheel. Let's see, you may be able to change, I don't know if you can change the trigger on this or not. Not sure as far as the pickup goes, what triggers that. So there's a Woodruff key, tap that out. Just gonna tap it with a pair of needle nose. Should come out fairly easy. We are getting a new crank that has rods, and again, it's going to be coming from most likely Rev 6. I've used their products in the past, and I do like the rebuild kits. I haven't used their reman motors, but I have used their rebuild kits on a couple jobs now. There's that, and this, and then this guy can now come right out. This didn't have any issues. There's that. We'll just throw that in the middle. We'll go ahead and get the stator off real quick. I don't think we have to pull the impeller off to get this off, but let's go ahead. Actually, do I need to pull the stator? I actually don't even have to pull the stator off of this side, but I'm going to, because I need to clean these cases. You can just see how gross they are, but let's get that off of there real quick. Is it going to be a standard or is it going to be a metric? There's 5. Yep. 5mm. Oh, I want my impact back. And these only get torque to 10 Newton meters. Side case, 10 to 12 Newton meters also. Polaris may give you foot pounds. Get this little plate off of here. And now the stator can come out. That's crazy. It's got like a little spot for the crank trigger. I wonder if it's on, I wonder where it's picking that up, the trigger from on that. That's really interesting. Oh, there it is. Ha! There's the trigger right there. There's the trigger. I didn't even pay attention to that. I'm an idiot. So there's your crank trigger for that. Or you can call it your crank trigger. You can call it the crank pickup, whatever you want to call it. So we got that. Let's go ahead and a few more bolts here. Should be able to start taking this side case cover off. Here, again, I don't think you have to take the impeller off. Let's grab a dead blow. If it doesn't want to come, we'll take the impeller off. I am not looking at the manual right now. It's not even pulled up on my TV. I'm just kind of disassembling this thing. Yeah, we might have to pull that impeller off because it's acting like it's going to be caught behind that. So let's get that off. That looks to be maybe a 12 or a 13, could be a 1/2 inch. Oh, there's my other customer. Let me stop for a second and deal with him, and we'll get back. All right, that XR is now here with a Bruin. But anyways, back to this bad boy. We're gonna go ahead and pull off the water pump. I shouldn't say water pump, I should say the water pump impeller gear. Water pump impeller, I think. We will see. Let's see if I can't get that. That's a plastic one. It's new too. Nice and easy. I don't want anything to happen to that. All right, got that off. Being that there's oil behind that, that is never a good sign. All right, anyways, there's that. Let's see. Okay, there. Well, there's that. Okay, so we did need to get the water pump off of there. Water pump seal. What the hell? I gotta get my glasses. I need my old man glasses back on. I can't see what the heck's going on here. I am a little confuzzled about this. Why? Ew. But why would that now I gotta look up the diagram on this thing, because that was pretty interesting. Let's pop the diagram up on this guy real quick to see what is going on here. Let's see. All right, so we're on partszilla.com. See if we can't find a water pump. Engine. My gosh, everything's going crazy. Throttle body, engine, transmission mounting, cool, blah, blah, thermostat, stator, flywheel, starting motor, piston, water pump. I want to see what the seal kit looks like. Okay, so number 11. Are they going to show it to me? Not really what all I wanted to see. We're going to copy that, and we're going to go ahead and Google search that thing. You guys can see all the stuff I Google search all the time, because I want to see multiple sides of that, because it should have the seal that goes on this side. You guys can see that seal. And then just this, but why was that other, oh no, maybe it's there. Let's see. Nope, it is showing, okay, that must be right, because it's showing both of those. Interesting, huh? I don't think I've seen that before, that I can recall anyways. Let me not screw up the microphone with my glasses. All right, but anyways, let's throw that over here at the water pump. Impeller. That was interesting. I personally don't think I've seen that. I mean, everything looks pretty good there. We will get new seals for this thing. We'll get this new big gasket over here, which goes on that. New seal, new seal. You see the starter, how dirty that is. Just multiple things that are yuck on this. Get that down here. And I'll probably be able to stack most of this stuff back where it belongs. Granted, the stator won't go back in there, but I can put this like this, throw that stuff down here, probably this gear in there, cover. Ugh. Just trying to make a little more room for the rest of this motor. All right. And then over here, you'll be able to see, if you guys can see it here, we're one tooth off right now. So we'll be right here at top dead center. You'll have, let's see, I don't know if you guys will be able to see this. Looks good. You'll have two marks here. You'll have that mark there, along with this mark here. You want to make sure all these line back up when you put this back together, all right? So again, this is a water pump. This one here, I believe, is going to be your balancer. This isn't your cam, and it's preloaded too. When you take it off, this thing is preloaded. These teeth will kind of separate. You'll put you can put a punch or something there to line that back up when you put that back on. Your cam, your counterbalancer, and your crank. And this says this side out, so that's not hard to remember there. But just remember, the simple fact over here is those dots will line up at top dead center. That dot for your counterbalancer and that dot for your cam will line up at top dead center, and you need to preload that guy. So let's start by see if we can get some of this stuff loose. And all that stuff's not very tight. So we'll start with the cam. There's that. Now, I don't know if you'll be able to see it as I do this. When I take this off, here, let me get this thing all lined back up first, because I did rotate it over. Right back there. That way it's all lined up. That dot there, and that dot there. Now you can work this off, and you'll see how that turned like that. Now when you go to put it back together, you'll preload this. You can put a punch in here or anything that size and turn it, and when you go to put it back on with this guy here, it'll line up right here, and you will preload this gear, and it helps with noise and things like that. So that is on the cam. This one down here is counterbalancer shaft. Get this one out. Not sure how easily that one will come out, or that one, or I'm not sure if this is going to be pressed off or pressed on. I haven't done that. I'll have to look in the manual for that one. And then this guy here is going to be, probably cases are going to have to be split for that one to come out. I'll have to look at the manual real quick to double check. Now this thing we can rotate out of the way, and you may be able to get this thing to start come off, but let me look at the reference the manual on this one, because honestly I am not sure how this one starts coming apart real quick. So basically what we got to do, we got to use a flywheel puller on this again. Now we'll turn the flat spot on that down, and it has a specialty tool you use on that when you have the valve train together. But let's go ahead and try to pull this guy off. We're going to do it nice and slow. There's that. That came out pretty easy. That's good. You see it has a wood drift key there. So we got that one out. We'll get that wood drift key. And then we'll do the same thing here with other bolts. And we'll have to pull that out the same way. And then inside of here, there are oil pump bolts you'll go through and loosen up here, 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 and there. And that whole assembly will slide out also. So let's get this wood drift key out real quick. Again, I'm just going to try to tap on it like this, just because I'm being a little lazy about getting, that's not going to work. Let me get a different screwdriver. Let's see, this drawer here, this guy here. I should have a hammer to pop this guy out. Again, I'm trying to take it very easy so I don't damage anything. Light taps and drop stuff. So we got that. This one done with this for the moment. And again, this steering wheel puller from Harbor Freight, as you can see, is working just fine for a lot of the things we got going on. So there's that. I wonder if these bolts fit. Nope, wrong thread pitch. How about these guys? Yep, that's correct thread pitch. But I'm not sure. Might be able to use a case splitter also to get that off without buying any of the specialty tools for this guy. So again, we got this one. That is on the counterbalancer. We'll drop that in there. And then this one here, we'll run three more in there. Let me look at the manual on that real quick, because I'm looking at it here. Install flywheel puller, install the two puller bolts, tighten the puller bolts up so that the bolts are at equal length. Install flywheel puller and remove. Okay, so we will need a flywheel puller. I will probably need to get longer bolts for that. Also, because actually I could probably use my case splitter like I was saying before. Let me grab that and see if I can't put my case splitter on here and get it to pull that apart. So I'm using the bolts for my case splitter, the thread in here, and I'm still using my flywheel puller one more time to see if we can get this one to come apart. Pull it off for the end of that crank. Let's see if we can do this. Just a few light taps. It is sliding off. There we go. Look at that. A cheap flywheel puller from Harbor Freight has worked wonders on this motor. Harbor Freight, I'm sorry, steering wheel puller, not flywheel puller. And I'm taking it easy when I hit that stuff. I don't want to cause any damage. If I see a little slippage on anything, then I could stop. If you just bear down on that thing and get crazy, then you risk possibly stripping something out. I like to hit it, and see how it's all coming apart. Make sure everything is moving as it should. I did grab some metric threaded bolts because I didn't have the right length ones in here for what I needed. And again, these are out of my crankcase splitter for dirt bikes and stuff like that. Got that off of Amazon a long time ago. Used it in multiple videos. I'm sure you guys have seen that. So we got this one off. Let's go ahead and lay that over here with the rest of that. And then the next thing I want us to do is pull out the bolts for that. I'm going to clean this up real quick, clean up some tools, and then we'll go ahead and get the oil pump out of this. So now let's get this oil pump out, get this air hose out of the way. I was trying to see if that was UPS or FedEx or anything. I'm waiting on some other parts to come in. Whoop, wrong direction. Ooh, that feels horrible. Like that bolt's almost bent. There's that one, there's one. Two. Yeah, it sounds like FedEx or Amazon or somebody's here. They're here every day. My goodness gracious. And one more down here in the bottom. Yeah, that's FedEx, sweet. Don't know what's coming, but sweet. There's all 4 of those. Let's get those out. And I believe these are all the same length. I don't think anything changed on those. Oh, doesn't want to come out yet. There we go. There we go. Get it out. Oil pump. Give it a little wiggle. And there's your oil pump. You can look at the back side of that, check it for any debris. What is that little guy there? Now, there is a little wear mark there on that. I don't know if I like that or not. We'll have to pull that all the way apart to see what's going on later on. I may not do that on camera. Oil pump. Bam. Done with that there. I tell you what, those FedEx and UPS drivers, when they take off, they take off. They don't mess around. They just haul bootay. But I know they got a lot of stuff to deliver. Everybody wants their stuff. They bought yesterday, delivered it the day before they ordered it. All right, let's check the other side. We are good there, nothing there. I am going to flip this motor. Well, after I lay down some rags. And we're gonna get these cases split. All right. There we go there. So we're just gonna start popping all these loose a little bit. We could probably get a little compressed air, blow off all this dirt. I mean, oh man, it's a lot of oil left in that thing yet. I even drained the oil in this thing. That is insane. I mean, look at it on the ground down here. And look at it, it's all over the place. I drained the oil in this thing. Whatever. Try not to get stuff around here too dirty. All right, well, apparently I need to clean up some oil. All right, we're just gonna knock it all loose with my big boy here. We're gonna start on the edges and work our way around. May not be able to get in there with this big one. I might have to get my, yep, I'll have to get my 1/4 inch or my 3/8 drive stuff for that one. Nope. Yep, 3/8 drive. Let's grab some of that stuff and on the ground. Let's see, let's get this. What size is that? Nope. What size are you? Nope. Where? There it is. Yeah, 3/8 drive. The walls are a little bit too thick on the other ones. Why is that one not fitting on that one? That's interesting. Oh no, sorry guys. That's going to be a specialty socket specifically just for the RZR. Now I do have 1/4-inch drive stuff because apparently that's not going to fit. So let's grab a 1/4-inch drive with this extension and my snap-on ratchet here, because these are not letting me fit the 3/8 drive stuff. Because, well, the chrome socket would probably fit actually, thinking about it. Let me try, I might try my chrome socket, because that was, the impact sockets are a little bit thicker than your chrome. 10, 11, 12, 13. I mean, you could be a 1/2 inch too if you want, but whatever. Yep, chrome. All right, chrome one works. And I will make another pegboard. For this guy. So I can keep track of where all these go. So wham, there's that. Grab me another piece of cardboard. I'm gonna make me a bolt board for the way all these go, and probably just gonna do it probably this direction. That way I understand what's going on there. So let me grab some cardboard, make that up. We'll split the case. All right, there's my board set up just like this thing is. If you guys can see that, we know 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and so on and so forth. That way it's easy assembly for me. I'm not worried about what anybody else does, but this is how I do it. And this one goes to that top corner of the case over here, or actually take that back way over here where the water pump goes. So now we're gonna go ahead, we should be able to split these cases. I'm gonna set it up on end like that. What a mess I got going on here. And now we should be able to just tap, tap on each side of the case. Actually, I take that back. I completely did not take out this guy on that side. That looks like a 30 Torx. I looked at that while ago, or a 35. I looked at that while ago and still just bypass it because it's never gonna come apart with that on there holding the case halves together, is it? Never. Let's see how hard it is to get these out. Should be about 8 Newton meters. That wasn't too bad. A little blue Loctite when we put that back together. And this is my first time taking apart one of these RZR 800s. And honestly, it's not really that hard. We'll pull that cam out too real quick. So that cam should just slide right out this side. Or that's the balancer. I don't know. Maybe it's gonna have to come out, the cam will have to come out a certain way for the balancer. I don't know, I'll have to look at all that. I don't know, but anyways, again, my first time. All right, that should be all of those. There are spots on kind of like this side. You can kind of get in there and hit around a little bit, but we're just gonna try to, there we go. Crankcase coming apart that side. That's broke there already. I'm not worried about that too much. And then there we go on that side. I'm just gonna set it right back down on the rods, put the rods at bottom dead center. All right, boom. There's, ooh, yuck. There's that oil pickup right here. This guy's gonna have to come out and be cleaned. You can just see all the metal debris inside that bad boy. Is my flashlight here in my pocket? No, where'd I put that at? Holy smokes, it's like we struck silver. Wow. Flashlight, I don't know. Wipe my hands down. We'll grab a different light. We'll grab this big light. Look at that. Look at that. Holy smokes. That is fried. Fried. Okay, so this guy has got to come out this way, straight up and down. I mean, you could just see all the metal debris in this thing, all the sludge. I don't think the oil is probably ever changed in here, unfortunately. If it was, it wasn't done very religiously. Take a look at the bearings here. There should have been, there they are. I'm like looking for this. Okay, there's that. That's good. The bearing doesn't look bad. This is the counter shaft balancer bearing. A little scored up. I mean, nothing too horrible. Because this one here, this one does not have a bearing. This is where a plain bearing. This is where your roller bearing would ride. All right, so let's go ahead and pull the counter shaft balancer out. Take a look at the surfaces on that. All that looks really nice. No big issues on that. And then, since the counter shaft balancer is out, we could probably get the cam. Let's go ahead and pull the crank next. There's a crank. And again, you could just see the difference in color. See how this one's not burned up looking. It does have a little side to side, which is fine, but you see how burnt up looking that one is? And look at that up and down. So this crank is trash. We're gonna get rid of this thing, and we will have a new one coming in from Rev 6. Hopefully it has the bearings. I'll have to double check on that. So let's get this crank out of the way. We'll set that there, counter shaft balancer. Throw the crankcase up on the side. Let's get this cam out of here. Check the cam lobes. Make sure the cam lobes are good, because we know some of these things are notorious for wearing the cam lobes off. And oh, that looks actually really good. No issues there. What about the journals? Journals look really nice also. That's pretty impressive with what we had just seen a few minutes ago with everything else. Now this is a possible oil galley right here, and that's kind of plugged off with sealant. That could cause a failure running to counter shaft balancer here. It should go through here. That's what that is, and that was sealed off. That's probably not a good thing. There is another way to get it here and here, but you got to make sure some of these are not sealed off, because then you won't get oiled a lot of stuff when you overdo these things. Like I said, this thing was put together. This is probably the second full engine rebuild on this, because it had Cylinder Works head on it. Possibly never been done from the bottom end, but the top end's been done. I can see that. So, bam, done. Over it. Guys, my first time doing a Polaris RZR motor, pulling it, anything, honestly, when it comes to getting this deep into one. Again, have your service manual ready, hit up emanualonline.com and use discount code LimitlessPower22 at checkout to save 22%. Help me out, help the channel. Yeah, I'm gonna cut this one here. Next thing will be I'm gonna clean all this stuff up off the camera, and the next thing will be starting the rebuild on this motor. If you guys got questions, drop some comments, hit that sub button, thumbs up, thumbs down. You can find me on Facebook at Limitless Power Sports Service and Repair. One day again on TikTok at Limitless Power Sports Sir and Rep. You can email me at limitlesspowersports78@gmail.com. I will link things I use down in the description. You can even get the flywheel puller from Amazon. I don't care, or the steering wheel puller from Amazon. I don't care where you get your stuff from. I have a few Amazon things in here because I'm not going to spend hundreds of dollars on tools that I rarely use. Again, guys, I appreciate everyone subscribing, tuning in, leaving comments, and I'll catch you guys on my next upload.